I'm PGA Professional John Grund here to share with you a tip that will help improve your ball striking. What is that tip? How does the club go from here down to my ball? Well, there's a couple things going on. If you were to take your forearm and hold it here and just take your hand back and forth, we're going to feel some forearm and wrist rotation, and we could also call it hand rotation, right? That's what's going on partially. Another thing that's going on is that the hand and the club, the wrist, is hinged. So we've got to get this club back from this position down to my ball, right? So my hand plane, which started here at address, the club needs to stay inside that hand plane coming back to the ball. But it's hinged, and the face looks this direction, and the face needs to look that direction. So how do we do that? One of the keys I've found is to set up to a ball, put your hands right about here, and the first thing we need to learn for most amateurs is that this club needs to unhinge this way, as well as rotate that way. Why is that? Because the shaft started on this angle. It needs to come back to that angle. Now it's going to come back to that angle slightly with the hands slightly ahead, ideally, from where we started. We started here, and the hands need to come back slightly in that position right about there. And we need to have that face looking that direction towards our target. How can we test this? Well, one way that we can test this is to use a simple laser pointer, which I have here, and you can see how this light shines on that. That's where we're going back in our takeaway. There's our takeaway, folks. It doesn't go outside, it doesn't go inside. And if it tracks along that line all the way out, that's what our takeaway looks like. But we've gone up to the top now, and we're coming back down, and we're gonna get to this position right about here. So you can see my laser light, my hands are right underneath me where they started. Now I have to release the club a little bit down and rotate my forearm, rotate my wrist. As I'm going down, rotate my back of my hand to that target line. That looks like this as we come in that way. Now we can see my hands are slightly in front of that light. So remember, the keys are a little rotation here, and as we get our hands down back inside this plane, a little forearm, wrist, or what you might call a little hand rotation. Work on this, maybe hitting some shots right from here, real soft. Unhinge, roll through. Unhinge, roll through. Now we notice that our body's going to be doing some things. We're going to rotate belly button, belt buckle, rotating a little to the core, so our weight's going to be a little bit more left. But the important issue here is that unhinging of the wrist and a little rotation in our forearm. Work on this, and I'm sure it's going to improve your game. When you have an opportunity, come out and see me and take a lesson here at Peacock Gap.